Hi guys, it's Tamara. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here with me today. We're going to be talking about the labile and explosive individual. I'm going to give you some tips on how to manage their angry mood and highlight some behaviors that they tend to have. Last week I spoke about abuse by proxy, and I also spoke about triangulation. So I want to add these skills or tips to your repertoire of tools that you probably already use. So thank you so much for coming back to my channel for those who are subscribed. And for those who are not subscribed, I encourage you to go ahead and hit the subscribe button. You can stick around with us and suggest videos and help us build the community of mental health here on YouTube, and also learn a little bit of things that maybe you could benefit from. So I welcome you. We all welcome you, I think. I have a pretty awesome audience. So the benefits for you in today's video is that you're going to learn a couple ways that are therapeutic in dealing with an angry and labile person. So first I want to explain to you what labile is, and then I'm going to go into giving you tips on how to deal with that kind of a person. So lability is basically a clinical term. It was coined as a term to explain clinical behavior that is intermittent, explosive, angry, 1 minute kind, the next minute not so kind, 1 minute depressed, the next minute very anxious. So it's a person's behavior and emotions that just kind of go like this, right? It's a roller coaster. They're never one way. We all tend to have moments where we change in our behavior. We all have moments where we change in our mood. And we all also have moments where we're more emotional than we are at other times. But people with a labile type of mood expression, they tend to experience really intense or sometimes moderately intense fluctuations in mood. That fluctuation in mood is very, very noticeable, and it has a very strong impact on their functionality. So if we think of an individual who is trying to be a housewife and she has children to raise, she takes the kids to school, she packs all the lunches, she cooks the dinner, she, cooks the breakfast, she gets the kids dressed, she gets the kids out of the door, she gets them to their appointments, right? She's just that super mom, right? If we have somebody like that and she gets irritable at the end of the day, because she's tired, then, that makes a lot of sense, right? She might even stutter like I'm doing right now because she's just exhausted, right? Those are fairly normal fluctuations in behavior and in mood. But let's say you have a wife and there's a mom, she's a mom, and she switches in her mood from 1 minute to the next. 1 minute she loves you, the next minute she absolutely can't stand you. 1 minute she's for you, and within the snap of a second, she's a different person. That's what I mean by a labile personality or lability, okay? The individual is clinically impaired. They are not having normal fluctuations in mood and behavior. And I think a really good movie to use as an example would be the movie Mommy Dearest. I will post a clip in the description box below of a scene from the movie Mommy Dearest, so you can kind of get a little bit of a snapshot and conceptualization of what I'm talking about here. So how can you deal with this kind of person? Well, when I see clients, I often tell them a few things. One is very, very simple, but it's very hard to do. Don't get sucked in. The moment you get sucked in, that's the moment you lose your power. You don't want to give that individual any power over you. When you react to that person's switchable and roller coaster moods, you are now predictable to them. You're predictable. They know that if they hit that button and push that button and pull that lever, I should say, they know they've got you, right? So you want to figure out, how can I become less predictable? Well, I need to take one of two approaches, or take both approaches and figure out when. One is the soft approach and two is the hard approach. And what I mean by that, soft approach is a humble, kind, slow to anger, slow to wrath, easy-tempered kind of reaction. The hard approach is the yelling, screaming, rules, directives, and attitude. So you want to consider, do I need to take both approaches and win, or do I need to take one of the two approaches? Either way you flip it, it's going to be appropriate. So let's say you have somebody at work and they tend to be labile. They switch in moods from one second to the next. And this person just slamming things around, they're slamming doors, they're being passive aggressive, they're being rude to you, they're even envious of you. You can either respond to that behavior using the hard approach, excuse me, I would appreciate it if you wouldn't slam my stuff, or you could take the soft approach, which is to look at that person and kind of smile and walk away, or walk away peacefully without even feeding into it at all. So you have to decide with a labile personality, what approach am I going to take with this person? They are not methodical. They are not calculating. They are not thoughtful. You are. They're emotional. So because they're emotional, you have to be the one to decide using your logic and rationale, how am I going to deal with this particular person? All right, so you got to do that. Don't get sucked in. The second one is build emotional barriers. Build emotional barriers. Figure out, how can I put up this wall in such a way that I am healthy? How do I put up a wall in such a way that I'm not going to get hit by this person's missiles and darts? Right? Once you start to realize that this person has a lot of missiles and darts they're throwing your way, then you can determine how you need to respond to protect yourself. And one way to do that is to build emotional barriers. The next thing is to know thyself. I said this on another video. I'm going to put that up here for you so you can go back if you didn't see it. Know thyself, right? Know what your buttons are, know what your boundaries are, know what your values are, and stand on them. You can be consistent. You can have boundaries. That doesn't mean that you're being mean or cold. If a person gets upset in response to your boundaries, that means that they are a manipulator. If a person gets fussy and frustrated in response to your boundaries, that means they are a manipulator, right? The moment that you fairly say, no, stop, and they get upset is the moment they finally reveal to you that they are manipulative. That's the way I tell my clients to look at that, right? The next thing is to be ready for them, right? Know how you're going to respond. Are you going to respond in a huffy way, or are you going to respond in a pleasant way that has strategy and skill, right? So you want to decide ahead of time before that person blows up again, how am I going to deal with this labile and explosive individual, okay? Be a psychologist with this person. Try to figure out what it is that pushes their buttons. What gets them going? What gets them flustered? Is it that I'm saying no? Is it that I'm allowing myself to be run over like a mat, a floor rug or carpet? Are they getting angry because I set a boundary? Are they getting angry because I demand that they respect me? Are they getting an attitude because I said, absolutely not, you're not going to get away with this? Figure out how to find their buttons. I don't want to say their weakness, because you don't want to do that. That's manipulative. But you do want to find what it is that makes them tick, right? So that you can avoid that and you can navigate that a little bit better, right? So be their psychologist. The next thing, right, is confront wisely. I've said this so many times in my videos, guys, especially the ones where I talk about negative relationships, narcissists, people with sociopathic traits. You want to choose wisely and you want to confront wisely. Choose your action and confront wisely. If you find that it's going to be difficult to confront that person, don't do it. It's not wise. But if you can see a better outcome, and if you can do it at the right time and with the right intent and tone and attitude, then I think it's healthy. So confront wisely and choose wisely, okay? The next one is walk away. You want to be able to walk away from the individual who is raging and explosive or being unreasonable. You're never going to be able to reason with somebody who's not willing to be reasoned with. So you want to walk away from that, okay? Encourage therapy depending on your relationship with that person. If it's your mother, if it's your child, if it's your spouse, you want to be able to say, you know, I think counseling might be helpful for you, and it might also be helpful for me, but I wonder if that's something you might be open to, right? Take the humble road with them, take the soft approach, and suggest therapy. Maybe it's something that they really could benefit from, all right? And then the next thing is consider medication. Sometimes when a person is labile and aggressive and explosive, they need medication to slow them down, to help them function and manage. So you want to consider if medication is going to be something that can not only be helpful for them, but also for you, because when they take the medication, that explosive behavior is going to come down a little bit. They're not going to be so, quick to react and impulsive. And last but not least, build some space between you. Sometimes an explosive labile person needs to sense your absence in order to appreciate you. If they don't sense your absence and you're constantly there, they're going to take you for granted. You're also going to get on their nerves, and things are not going to turn out very well. So build some space into your relationship. You need some space to be you. They need some space to be them. When they're angry, build some space between you. When they're frustrated, build some space between you. When they refuse to talk to you, build some space between you. That space can allow both of you to reassess. It can also allow anger to come from here all the way down so that you can reassess, you can adjust your emotions, you can hear your conscience talking to you, you can, reevaluate how to approach that person, right? So these are all tips to not make you look like you are weak or vulnerable. And I don't want you to feel like you're backing up so much that you don't have what it takes to deal with that person. These tips are really here to encourage you to choose wisely. Every last one of these tips are here to encourage you to choose either the soft approach to things or the hard approach. And whichever approach you decide upon, make sure that it's the right approach. Make sure that it's wise. Thank you so much, guys, for being with me in this video today. I love having you on my channel. Thank you so much. And I encourage you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. If it was helpful to you, I welcome your comments in the comment section below. I will see you pretty soon. Hang in there and have a great week. Bye-bye.
Here we go again. Call my bluff, I'ma be here till the end. I'm the one you ride to.